my name is Alex Becker. Welcome to week 4 of Sunday Night Football. Tonight we got Tampa Bay playing against New England. For Tampa Bay, I'm going to be doing a Tampa-style Cuban sandwich. That's going to have some ham, it's going to have some roasted pork, and then some salami as well. I'm going to smoke the first 2 of those. The salami I'm just going to use deli style, cold cut, I'm not going to mess with that. And for New England, I'm going to do some lobster tails. Whole lobster would be a little bit more New England style. Here in Kansas, that's pretty hard to find. Just do some lobster tails instead. Hopefully everything comes out great. Thanks as always to my lovely wife Evelise for doing all the camera work and all the video editing that comes after. For a Cuban sandwich, the first thing we're going to do is a ham. I've got a half ham here. It's about 7.5 pounds. You can get pre-sliced or you can do the full one. They both work just fine. If you do the pre-sliced ones, the spiral sliced, it's going to get more smoke on it because there's more surface area, but it might dry out. If you've got a whole one like this, you're not going to get probably quite as much smoky flavor in there, but you know it's going to stay moist all the way through. I'm not going to do a ton of seasoning on this. It's already got salt and sugar and everything on it. I'm just going to add a little bit of my pork rub. I made this a couple weeks ago. It's the same combination of stuff I was using then. Just going to sprinkle a bit of that on every surface that I can find. There's not going to be as much that'll stick anyways because of the weird shape. That's just fine. That's coming out kind of slow. Since it's already got all the seasonings, the salt, that sugar, all that good stuff from when it was cured, it doesn't need to be as heavily seasoned as other types of pork would. Alright, I'll put that on, get on the backside. Flip it over, get that out of here. There we go. That should be enough. Just get that kind of rubbed in there, try to get it reasonably even. Get some of that stuff off the cutting board. Alright, that's really about all you have to do to prepare the ham. I'm just going to get it right onto the smoker, and then I'll start with the pork loin here in just a minute. Going to get this just down here into the smoker. Ham doesn't have to cook for as long as a lot of other pork products. You're just trying to get it up to about 145, 150. I'm just going to run that until it's ready to go. I'll be using cherry wood today for this. There's going to be a lot of pork cooking. That cherry is going to give it some good sweet smoke that'll go really well with that meat. Got the pork loin here. That's going to be the other part of the sandwich. I'm going to use the same seasoning again as before. That's mostly brown sugar, what I use for my pork. It's got some paprika, some garlic, some salt, pepper, onion powder, chili powder. You can use mustard powder, all of those things. Whatever works best for you. I like my pork pretty sweet, so I tend to go a little heavy-handed on the brown sugar and then kind of let everything else fill in from there. I'm going to get this seasoned a little bit more than the ham. Pork loin, kind of a lean cut off of the animal. I'm not going to have a lot of fat. I'm not going to have as much of that juicy flavor that you get from like the belly or the back. So to account for that, I want to be careful to get some good seasoning on it so it still comes out nice and flavorful. Also don't want to overcook it. Without that fat to render, it's going to get done a lot faster than those fattier cuts of pork. So we're only going to be trying to get this up to about that same temperature as the ham, about 145. Not trying to get it all the way up to pulling temperature like we would for pulled pork, pork belly, anything like that, ribs. get some of this on every side. Pork loin is a good cheap cut of meat if you're just getting started with barbecuing or just getting started with cooking in general. It's a good one to start with. It's pretty versatile. You can cut it into chops and fry it or grill it, leave it whole, and bake it, cook it in the crock pot, smoke it, sort of slow cooking technique. You can season it a lot of different ways. It's very, very versatile, good way to practice. And if you do happen to do something to kind of mess it up, it's not so expensive that you're going to be out too much money. When I'm trying out new rubs, pork loin's a good thing to try it on. Alright, I got that seasoned up a little on every side. As you can see, I trimmed a little bit of fat off of it here. I don't want this to have any of that silver skin that's going to make it tough. And that's really about all you have to do to prepare this. Get it on the smoker along with the ham. Just put this on the smoker along with everything else. I'm going to keep this towards the top, a little more away from the fire. Like I said, it's very lean, it's a little bit more sensitive. I don't want to burn it, don't want it to char up. If the ham gets a little bit charred on the outside, that's not going to be as big of a deal. Pork is finished cooking, it's all just resting now until ready to serve everything. Next thing is going to be the lobster tails. I've got 3 of them here. First thing I'm going to do is going to be to cut down the top and bottom of each shell and to pull the meat out that way. Just going to get underneath here if I can. Get that pulled open pretty much all the way. Do the same thing on the top. It's going to make it much easier to get the meat out. You can pull it out the top or the bottom, whichever you prefer. I'm just going to open it up this way. And if it's all detached, it should come out like so. It's going to get it more exposed, allow me to cook it a little bit faster and easier. And I'm going to do that for about a total of 10 minutes for all 3 of them on the smoker. I've got it running pretty hot right now, up over 300 instead of the usual 250 to 275, since these are going to need to cook a little faster. It's been about 10 minutes total. I'm going to baste them with some garlic butter after about 5 minutes. Baste them with that same garlic butter once they finish, and then they should be ready to serve. We got the lobster tails ready over here. You can see they got a good kind of golden brown color on them from the smoke and the garlic butter. Got the ham here and the pork loin here. For the ham and the pork loin, since it's going to be for sandwiches, I'm going to try to slice these pretty thin. The ham's going to be a little trickier. The pork loin should be pretty straightforward. It's really juicy, even though it's a pretty lean cut of meat that didn't have a lot of fat. Get it coated in some brown sugar and stuff first, and don't let it overcook, and it's still going to come out. Lots of good flavor. It's still nice and moist. So with both of these, I got it up to where they were about 145 degrees all the way through. So it's done enough to be safe, but not so done that they're going to start to dry out or anything like that. Now, carving the ham is going to be a little bit trickier. I'm going to do this kind of counterintuitively. I'm just going to start on this end and slice straight up and down. It's not going to be the neatest looking slices in the world, but for sandwich purposes it should work out just fine. Just like the pork loin, see that's still nice and juicy, kind of shining a little bit there. Don't want to overcook either of these things and let them start to dry out. To make the actual sandwich, I've got half a loaf here of Italian bread, sliced open already. I'm just going to give it a couple layers of everything here. Get some pork loin along the bottom. And some ham. And then in Tampa, they do this with some salami also. I didn't do anything with the salami, this is just straight from the deli. Just going to get a couple of slices of that up on top. These are a little thinner, so go double over kind of. You get a little bit of mustard, and then you can do pickles. Still got some pickle relish from when we did the Chicago dogs a couple weeks ago, so I'm just going to use that instead. Put this all together, add whatever kind of cheese you want. Swiss cheese is kind of the standard. We still got some leftover smoked cheeses of various kinds from the Green Bay thing. So I'm just going to do kind of a sampler platter with that, where all this goes together to make one glorious looking sandwich. And then to go with it, we'll have some delicious looking lobster tails. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Alex Becker, lovely wife Eva Lise doing the camera work. This has been week 4 of Sunday Night Foodball. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, anything you want to do to help get the word out about this little project of mine.